Amazing V-shaped recovery bounce for Bitcoin. What is next? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, whenever you're watching this video, welcome to the Bitcoin family channel. For the newcomers, my name is Didi, and to be very clearly, I am not a financial advisor about Bitcoin, about any other cryptocurrencies, about trading, about blockchain, about life, about traveling. I'm just a dude living his life and making beautiful entertainment purposed content. Now, let's quickly jump into today's video. I have 3 epic news items, 5 epic charts, 1 inspirational quote. Let's go. Bam. First news item from Argentina. Argentinian state-owned oil company, YPF, state-owned oil company, please understand that, just announced they are going to accept Bitcoin for their oil. So that means the end of the petrodollar, like a kind of little bit. And now all countries worldwide can start to buy oil from Argentina by paying with Bitcoin. That's a simplified explanation of what will happen when a state really starts to believe in Bitcoin. So now Javier Milei, we all know that Bitcoin Pro president from Argentina, said, okay, we're going to accept Bitcoin payments for our oil. Let's see how long it will take for the Netherlands that will start to accept Bitcoin payments for their Shell oil. I don't know. I don't think it will ever happen in the Netherlands, but, you know, we at least have a part of Argentinian queen. You know, there's a Dutch king, and he's married to Maxima, and Maxima is Argentinian. So maybe there will be some influence. Maybe in the future, Shell will also start to accept Bitcoin payments. Let's see. Argentina running up first. They accept Bitcoin for oil. Is this the end of the petrodollar? Let me know down below. Let's jump into the second news item. Second news item, guys. As you all know, I am not a financial advisor. I'm a long-haired dude wearing a Bitcoin cap, living his life in Thailand because he did a couple of good investments. But I do know one very good financial advisor. And that financial advisor is the Bank of America, a $3.2 trillion bank. One of the biggest banks of America, that's why it's called the Bank of America. Maybe we consider that as a financial advisor. Now, that financial advisor, the Bank of America, just stated that everyone in the United States should have a 4% allocation in Bitcoin. So if you have millions of dollars, 4% of that should be in Bitcoin. I'm not stating that, I'm just reading the news that a financial advisor in the United States, the Bank of America, stated. They are stating that each and every household should allocate 4% of their capital into Bitcoin. This is a $3.2 trillion bank financial advisor speaking over there, guys. Yes, I know that you all know that I'm not like the most positive guy when it comes about banking, and I don't want to buy my Bitcoins through a bank. I want to buy my Bitcoins non-custodial, so I want to keep self-custody. But if you do want to buy Bitcoins with your bank account, then now maybe the Bank of America will be offering you those Bitcoins. Many other banks also offer them. I think even today, that's the third news item, the buy button on the Vanguard spot ETF was activated on the website. So you can start to buy on Vanguard's website Bitcoin spot ETFs. Of course, that's not real Bitcoin because you don't own the private keys, not your coins, but still you are exposed to Bitcoin. Now, please be aware that last news item, Vanguard has 51 million investors. So 51 million investors get access through Vanguard now to be able to buy Bitcoin on their website by clicking that buy button on their website. So that's a huge step again for the institutional investment world. Yes, retail is a little bit left behind, but now because of these institutions integrating Bitcoin buying opportunities in their platforms, maybe retail is gonna step in. Maybe we will get a little push upwards like we saw already a V-shaped recovery. What is next? That is the question. And that question I'm going to answer exactly with the charts. Let's quickly jump into those charts. But before we do that, again, not a financial advisor, just a normal guy analyzing the charts, giving you my opinion on the charts, and that's no financial advice whatsoever. Now, let's jump into those charts. Bam! Yes, we will start with a 4-hour chart. Let me get some coffee. Are you feeling bull market vibes because of this pump? Let's analyze where we are going, guys. This 4-hour chart shows us a V-shaped recovery, very beautiful one. And we can see this candle, which is going to close in 1 hour and 16 minutes above the resistance level of 91,000 US dollar. This has been resistance since a couple of weeks, guys. Look, over there it started already. 18th of November, resistance. We can't get above it. Every time when we get above it, we go below it again. We fell really down. We came back. Resistance, resistance. Huge amount of resistance. So this candle needs to close above it, and the next candle needs to stay above it. So it's another 6 hours at the moment. It's going to be very exciting, because if this one closes above that one and the next one opens above one and stays above that, then we could revisit that 94K area, which is a very important area. Because if we close one above it and the next one down below it, we could go down again, like there. But if this one is closed above it, the new one is open above it and stays above it, then this is the next target. And when we break that one, the next target is that 97K. So for all the people that were not able to take profit, I think a lot of people will start to take profit at these levels over there, guys. And for all the people that really believe in another bull market push, that we can maybe have, if December will be closing really bullish, yes, then of course we can go to the new all-time highs, etc. But coming back to that later. So short term, that is what I think that will happen to Bitcoin now. 94K is in play. If we zoom out and look at the 5-day chart, the Gaussian channel, each candle is 5 days, we can see we are now retesting the 92K level, the bottom of the Gaussian channel. So this is again a resistance level. If we are able to break into that Gaussian channel, most of the times we will be trying and we will be sucked towards that middle line, which is at 102,000 US dollar. So also here, very important candle close in 3 days and 22 hours. If we close in 3 days and 22 hours above this bottom line, there's a big chance the bulls are taking control and trying to push us back to 103K. These charts and these indicators have been right most of the times. I've been sharing these with you for a very, very long time. And now I think it's very important that we go into this channel again to be revisiting that 103K. Now, if you zoom out on the monthly, it still looks really nice. We went up, we broke the monthly candle down below the orange line. In my opinion, that's the bear market. I'm still 70% bear market, nothing else. 70% of me is already bearish. But this green candle on the monthly is beautiful, because I told you yesterday, what happens often is when we break a candle down below the orange line, I told you, we could go sideways for a couple of months around that orange line, and that line is 100K. Look, we did it over there, we broke one down below it, 1, 2, 3, 4 months around that orange line before we went down and the orange line went down. The bull market before that, 2017, here we broke it, 1, 2, 3 months around the orange line before we fell down. So that's still very positive. So that means that we will be hovering between 90 and 100K maybe for a couple of more months, which could eventually lead to a little bit more belief of the people and maybe to that last push that people are expecting, you know, maybe 160K or something like that. It could all still happen, but for me, I'm still 70% bearish, as the MACD is bearish. We had a MACD cross, RSI is turning bearish, we are down below the 50 weekly moving average, so most of my indicators are bearish by now. Yes, a lot of them didn't flash, like for example, the Pi cycle top did not flash, but if the market has completely changed, then maybe that Pi cycle top will never flash again if the market gets flatter and if Bitcoin is maturing. So please understand that what is happening here is very exciting, but if you zoom out, I still think that 100K is a huge, massive area of resistance. Then we have, of course, the Didi token for some people that asked it. Yes, we are down because Ethereum is down, everything is down, but these areas are beautiful areas, maybe to pick up some. You know, guys, this token is a token with real utility within the Didi community. If you don't participate in the Didi community, maybe you don't have the need for this token. But if you want to actively participate, yeah, then the Didi token could be really cool to the people that are Didi members. Now, I have one more exciting chart for you to show. It is this one. I found this one yesterday on Twitter of Gert van Lagen. Gert van Lagen. I think he's Dutch or German. Van Lagen. Van Lagen. And then would it be Van Lagen? Gert van Lagen. I think he's a Dutch man. He just shared this chart yesterday on his Twitter and he said, guys, look, every time when we have this green line, that's when we get a signal. That's the beginning of a massive run in Bitcoin. It was like that in April 2016. We hit that line and bam, massive run. Then in December 2017, we got a red line on the charts. We had the bear market. Here again, it was the same. In 2021, that circle, massive pump. Bearish time after. November 2023. We had that signal, massive pump. And now again, that signal is flashing. And to be very clear, that signal is the Bollinger Bandwidth. And the Bollinger Bandwidth now at 82.31 is again at that level that green line will appear and that we will have another push. We are at that level. It is make it or break it. If we are going to break this line, the blue line on top that you can see over there, then it's completely over, guys. Just over. Then it's just not a confirmation of the bear market. But for my 30% that still is bullish on the market, and I'm not a financial advisor, I told you 70% is bearish already, 30% is still bullish. These signals are making that 30% bullishness for me, because this could indeed lead to another push. And if that push would be a push to 160k, then again, the market was completely off if you compare it to the normal 4-year cycle. But again, we would have then a blow-off stop like each and every cycle, only not 17 months after the halving. But no, the all-time high was also before the halving. So some things have been changing in this cycle. Let's see. But at least this chart gives us a little bit more hope that we could see one more push. Great chart by Gert van Lagen. I don't see his Twitter account here, but follow him on Twitter as well. Now, that were the charts for today, guys. Let's jump now into the last part of the video. I hope you really enjoyed those charts, guys. Yes, short term, again, a lot of volatility, amazing V-shaped recovery. If we go to 94-ish K-ish, that's an amazing moment for a lot of people and a lot of algorithms to take profits. Me, myself, and I am still sitting on the sidelines as a bearish perspective, because I do want to see us to break that 91K level before I become a little bit bullish. And if we break 91K, guys, believe me, 100K again is going to be a resistance. But who knows? At the moment, this bull market is different than all the other bull markets. So if we analyze this bull market in the eyes of the previous bull markets, TA, that's all you do. You look to the left on the charts and you see the data, and then you would say, okay, that could happen now. Then we are still in a bear market. If we would start to create a higher high, so 100K or 110K, and then maybe even an all-time high 130K, then we could continue. But please understand one thing very well. You should structure your portfolio that you're not freaking out either way. If Bitcoin will crash, I will be able to buy back Bitcoin cheaper. If Bitcoin goes up, my HODL portfolio is very happy, because that capital is increasing my purchasing power. So if you have a correct balance in your portfolio, you're not freaking out and you're not so emotionally attached to that market. And please understand the difference between a trader and an investor. And I know that you're all confusing and those two with each other, but that's not the way you should do it. An investor buys and keeps buying and looks at the bigger picture long term, 4 years, 8 years, 12 years. They don't care about these short-term swings. They don't care. They zoom out. A trader is like actively trading each and every day, is every day on the market, every day trading the volatile market. If you don't have the time to be able to do that daily, you're not a trader, you're an investor. Make the correct choice before you step into Bitcoin, as Bitcoin is of course a very volatile asset. Disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, so what do I know? Now, that were the charts, guys. If you liked them, give it a thumbs up. Let's jump now into the next part of the video, the inspirational quote. Bam. The inspirational quote for today, guys. Change is often necessary for growth. If we don't change, we don't grow. If we don't grow, we are not even living life, in my opinion. Everybody needs to be growing all the time. I am learning, I'm educating myself, I'm being educated. I keep growing in knowledge, in everything else. So change is very important in that quote, because people are afraid to change. And if you don't change, you don't grow. And if you don't grow, you're not living life to the fullest optimal possibilities you have. Because you might think, by looking in the mirror, this is the max that I can reach. There is never a max. Everything you want to reach, you can reach. It's an unlimited amount of possibilities in your life that you don't see yet because you don't want to change. You want to stay stuck in that hamster wheel, stay stuck in that rhythm, stay stuck with your job, with all the stuff that you kind of really don't like. At least that's the feedback I receive of many people. I don't like my job. I would love to live like that. I would like to do that. Then change. Change is the most important part of that quote. Change will lead to growth. Growth will lead to living life to the fullest. If you don't start to change, you will never grow. Simple as that, guys. Oh guys, by the way, I'm going to reduce the amount of videos in the bear market. When there is something very important happening, I will make an extra video. But be aware that our gold, silver and bronze VIP members of the Didi Bam Bam community, didibambam.me, they will get extra content as well in the bear market. So if you want to keep watching all my content, then you should join our club at didibambam.me. Now, thank you for watching. I wish you an amazing day. If you did enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. What do you think about the news? What do you think about the charts? What do you think about that quote? Thank you, and see you Friday again. Bam.